Okay, amen.
So, continuing part with Destroying the Spirit of Rejection by John Eckhart. And we're going on into generational rejection. I was telling her, okay, I really got to talk about this because I got some stuff I got to get off my chest. But in the book, it was talking about the generational rejection can be passed down from generations to generations of a family, and parents have suffered from hereditary rejection or who have been rejected from marriage, and some find it hard to show love and affection to their children. And so I was thinking of this in, as far as my life and then my parents. Well, my parents were never married. Loved them dearly. They were in and out. So I was raised by my grandmother, and my grandmother took extremely good care of me. She also developed me into the what we call woman that I am today. But she gave me those foundations that you need in life, and gave you the characteristics. And so some people tell me that, you act just like her. I was like, well, that's who raised me. Absolutely. So that's why I have, I can make stuff from scratch. And I can do things, and take $1 and stretch it, because she taught me how to do those kind of things in life. And so I know how to turn lemon to lemonade, and just look at goodness and try to find goodness in everybody, and not in certain things in your life too. Well, this happened, but so what are we going to make out of it? What are we going to make good out of this thing that happened in our lives? And so with that being instilled in me, so I looked at the angle of my life in regards to my parents, because I was on the homecoming court in high school. And then, they started calling out the people of the courts, and their mother and father is this and that and the other. And then when they got to me, they said, raised by Nora Hogan, and they said, grandparents too and everything. And they said, well, does she have parents? And stuff like that. And so it was like, it kind of lifted me down a little bit, but I had to find out who I was and make it good in regards to how I was raised. And so that being said, I had to find my way and not be bitter about some things in my life that happened to me, because it wasn't the norm per se that other children had. And so when it came to my father, no matter what, he could do no wrong. With my father, I remember sitting there one day, and he was supposed to pick me up, and I was supposed to have a day with him, but the Dallas Cowboys were playing that day. So I think he forgot.
You lost out to a football.
So I was like, oh, okay. So I was just sitting there, and he never showed up. But the next time that he came to town, and he was there, it's as if he never did anything wrong. And so with that, my father was just my idol. And in a sense, that's a good point, but in a sense, that was a bad point, because the guys that I picked in my life were kind of like that. If they didn't show up, okay. If they did, okay. And there was a lot of things that they got away with where I let them, I allowed them. Whereas when it came to my mother, she didn't have a chance. Bless her heart. If I even looked at her, I was mad. So it was like, and so trying to find that balance of loving her the way I love my father was hard to do, because I let her be the villain in regards to everything. So even if my father did wrong, I still blame my mother. And so my mother had to take on all the things that was bad or that happened in my life that wasn't good. And so I blame her because she abandoned me, or per se, in my thought that you weren't there for me when I needed you. And so that can play a trigger in some generational rejections in other people's lives. And then one day, something happened between me and her. She shut the door. I couldn't get out of the doorway, because usually, if she had something to say, I didn't hear it, or I just walked out of the room. And this time she bolted the door. I couldn't get out. So I had to sit there and talk to her in regards to our relationship. And she just basically said, I honestly don't know what I did wrong.
Wow.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I love you. Tell me what I can do to make us better. And she says, I'm sorry. Really, that's all she had to say.
Mm-hmm.
I was done. Because I think, even if I didn't get the I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
it was just the idea that she showed that she did say she cared and she loved me, and no matter what, in that outcome. So from that point on, we were fine. Now, I have my moments where you're like, Lord, my mother, but because my mother is a comedian, she makes, she's gonna make you laugh out of everything. But I still love her the way she is, no matter, she'll never change, and I don't want her to.
Mm-hmm.
So in regards to that, I think we found a way to love.
Mm-hmm.
And even though my father is gone on, I always love my father. And he said it too. So in a child's life, when you never tell them that you love them,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard for a child to think, well, maybe they do and maybe they don't. Because but in my family's opinion, they show the love, they just didn't say it that much.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to learn to be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of, like I said, it's a downfall, because I met people in my life that was basically, that's how I knew it. So I had to break a generational curse,
Right.
for me and my son, to tell him as many times as I can that I love him,
Mm-hmm.
or and show it too.
Mm-hmm.
So in regards to generational curses, I think it's important for children to hear that.
Yes.
So that they can, and then he's always trying to do something great. He's always trying to make mommy proud of it. And I love
it's
that.
Special mother-son.
And maybe it is, maybe it is. And so
That's
it's
it.
like, I love, and all I love is just his look on his face.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to get that off my chest. I want to get that out there. But for generational curses, for a lot of people, it's the thing that you can't break. Somebody has to stand up.
Somebody has to stand up. I'm same church, other side.
Mm-hmm.
I was mama's baby, daddy's baby. They get split up. They got back together, got married, and then there I was.
Okay.
And my dad was just never sure whether I was his or not.
Mm-hmm.
So he withheld his love for me, his affection. Then my brother was born next. He's 5 years younger than I am. And then my two sisters, one is 8 years younger, the other is 10 years younger. Okay. But my grandmother, my mother's mother, I was her mama.
Of course, yeah.
I could do no wrong. And it was just when she would hold out those arms, and I could just hold on just for me. Whatever. Oh, man, it was nothing like being in Granny's arms.
I'm sure.
Okay. So I got to spend a lot of time with my grandmother. And especially after my brother was born, because, he was my son. Okay. So we got that whole dynamic going on. So for my children, I wanted them to feel loved. I did not want that rejection. My two sisters just being 2 years apart. My dad was a big, strong man. He was a construction worker. He used to been the first 150 operating engineer, black one, in that union in Chicago. Okay. He was a hardworking man. He was a proud man. He looked after his family. So he would come in and he would be dirty and he would be gritty, and my two sisters each would grab a leg, and Dad would walk. Like they had the commercial on television with the guy going, okay. And that's how it was. Well, I was trying to fit in there.
Of course.
Okay. And we got the whole color thing going on, because I got color like my grandmother, but my sisters are lighter like my dad's side of the family. And I'm trying to grab an arm or waist, something to just get on there. Love me too. Get away. You're just too big. You're too heavy. So imagine, 5-6 days a week, and then he would say, where's my son? So he's got his two daughters, and he's looking for his son, but where do I fit in there? Okay. I had the unconditional love for my grandmother, and when she died, I felt like the world was ending. But I made a decision when I got pregnant with my first child that they would know that I loved them. Okay. And our boys now, they're in their 40s. Kimberly is in her 40s. Aaron is in his 20s. And we don't always, like tongue and teeth fall out. We may fall out, but they know that I love them.
Absolutely.
That is never a question. And our second son, he said, how you just hold your arms out? He said, well, I do that for myself. Okay, so I thank the Lord that He gave me a heart to give out that unconditional love like I had. Okay, so a lot of times being Mama Johnson, it's not a matter of judgment but you can come get a hug.
I think it's a safe place.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. I just think it's a safe place. I'm like, but you know, I talk to Mama Johnson any day about it.
Okay, and about anything, and that's the thing. When our sons were growing up, I'm a girl. Okay, I'm not a girly girl, but I'm a girl. I have no idea what a male feels like, what they go through. I left that part to their daddy. Right. I don't want to know. Now, however, they did find out how babies come into the world, how you make babies. I was very honest with them and explained it to them on the level that they could understand. Gave them the information that they needed at the time. And we built on that. So that was not a problem. But as they got older and things would come up, they would still come, Mom, can I talk to you? Okay. And there was nothing. And I thank God that He has put that in me, because even with married couples, sometimes, Johnson, can I talk to you? Okay, dear. Okay. So, I listen. Lord, just help me give them the answer, because there's a biblical answer to everything. To everything. So learning the word for myself, so I can give it to somebody else, is the biggest thing. But with my dad, we had reconciled. My dad, he died in 95. My dad, when he had cancer, he was in the hospital. And a long time, I held a lot of stuff against my dad, and then it was like, just let it go. Just after he had his first major surgery, I let it go. And he wanted to come home from the hospital, and they told him he couldn't come home. He said, I'm calling my daughter. She gonna make you let me out of here. So he called me at work. He's in the hospital. He called me at work. You gotta come get me at the hospital. Me?
Yeah, that's like, okay.
Okay, and I'm, it's my thought process. The other ones that you favored. Why are you not coming? Okay, but anyway, I go to the hospital. I talk to the doctor, and he looks at me and he says, "You haven't been here before." I said, "No, I haven't been here before." And he said, "I can see that you'll take care of him." I said, "Well, he's gonna be there with my mom, but I will make sure that he gets home and that he gets back." So the doctor said they ran some kind of blood gas test on him, and they said, "Well, he's good enough. He can come home, but he has to be back here Monday." And I told him that it's fine. So my dad goes, "See, I told you she was going to get me out of here."
You don't want to go do it, right?
Right. But when the time came, we would go see mom and dad every week. And it was on a Tuesday. I didn't feel that. I was at work, and I was really feeling funky. And I called my husband. I said, "I don't think I'm going to make it to mom and dad's and that. I'm really not feeling good." And he said, "Well, they'll understand." And then it just hit me. But I won't understand.
Yeah.
So we went. 2 days later, my dad made his transition.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But the thing was, while we were there, we had a good time. We laughed and talked. We played good whist like we normally do.
Okay.
And before I left, he said, "Can you brush my hair?" My dad had beautiful hair, wavy hair, silver white.
Oh.
And I just brushed his hair. And I said, "Well, Daddy, we got to go. I got to get up in the morning. Got to get Aaron," because he was still a little guy. And he was like, "Well, can you brush it just a little bit longer?" But he wouldn't turn around to face me.
Interesting.
And I kept brushing his hair. And I wanted to turn around and hug him and kiss him on his cheek, but he wouldn't turn around. So I just reached from behind and just hugged him and kissed him. "Daddy, I love you." And he said, "I love you too." That was my last remembrance.
Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? I think I got the "I love you too" at the very end.
Yeah. So when we let go of us,
and that's the only way he could do it.
And that was the only way he
could get it out, because he wanted to say it. He wanted to say it at that time, and that you brushing his hair was the way to do it. Isn't that something?
Because that was something I hadn't done before.
Yeah.
That was something I hadn't done before. Yeah. So that was it. So like those generational curses, as many as I can as mom, because dad is the lead.
Right.
There are certain things only he can do because he is the head. Right. Okay. So I took the stand. Thank God for his grace and mercy that I've taken the hits that I've had to take for my children, okay, and in the place of our adopted son for him, okay. So, but he knows how much we can bear, and he always provides us a way of escape. He never leaves us trapped in a corner. So our God, he is gracious.
Yes, he is.
He is gracious.
When we're talking about the spirit of rejection,
Yeah.
one of those things of generational curses that I wanted to talk to you all about today, because I know there's more. There's more.
so much more.
Absolutely. If you have any questions or concerns, go ahead, send us an email per se. I'll leave that information on as I download it to Facebook so that you can message us. If you have any questions for me or Mama Johnson, let us know. Talking about Spirit of Rejection by John Eckhart. We will continue this session, a couple more sessions as well. But we thank you for joining us today, and blessings to you. We'll be back. See you then.